Welcome to Top Shot NFT. I'm your host, Jason. As always, I got my big man, Linux, and we've got a special guest today, Shelvin Mack, coming all the way across the pond. He's over in Greece right now, Athens to be specific. But before that, we want to just give you the quick update on the latest in NBA TopShot. As you guys are aware, we had the holo drop this past weekend. We did a quick rant on it because it was just kind of mind-boggling for Linux and I. Did the 3 a.m. show. Hope you enjoyed that. As far as what's been going on since Saturday, not a whole lot. We did have the Luka drop for the Cool Cats. That was the first of the Cool Cats challenge. Now the marketplace is kind of in flux. Linux, what's the latest from your end?
Yeah, it's fairly short. I believe you covered everything. Right now, we're waiting for the Cool Cats 2 emo to come out, and they'll give us specifics in regards to the upcoming challenge. There have been rumblings about metallic golds being released as well, but outside of that, that's all I got, my friend.
Well, with that said, we've got Shelvin Mack, former Butler Bulldog, professional NBA player who's now taken his talents to Greece. I want to say welcome to you, Shelvin, and how's it going? And thanks for staying up so late for us.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. It's going pretty good. I got over here in November. Unfortunately, it's been a lockdown ever since I've got here. It's not open like in America. I was in Georgia before I got over here. It's totally different. As you can tell from Instagram and videos that Georgia's completely wide open right now. But it's different. Got my family here, and just trying to play some basketball and enjoy the best situation you can have in these kind of times.
And how has basketball kind of been nice? Is that been a lot different for you during the COVID period? Or has it kind of been like a sanctuary where at least you can go hoop and kind of feel some normalcy?
A little bit of both. It's also very different with no fans being there, when it's also a time to get out the house. Something I actually can do over here. I actually have a letter in my car in case the police stop me to ask me why I'm at my house. It's I'm going to the gym. So that's the great thing about it. Other than that, the slow grind is weird. I can definitely say that this year has been very weird playing with no fans.
It's interesting. I did a deep dive on you. I know a lot about you actually without actually meeting you. I grew up a Duke fan. We'll get into that a little later. But to tie this into kind of TopShot, it's it's digital basketball moments, whereas basketball cards is just a picture of you. You don't really have context, but, there's moments in your career that are now immortalized and also are collectible. What's interesting is currently we have this Cool Cats collection, and the next challenge that they have to get a elite card is there's talks that it's going to be a bunch of Kentucky Wildcats. Now, I know that you're from Kentucky, and I know that you grew up a Kentucky fan. Just kind of talk about that and, kind of take us back. Was it always Butler? Was there any other school that you could have gone to? I believe that you wanted to be a Kentucky Wildcat, but just that kind of process in the very beginning.
Oh yeah. Now, growing up in Kentucky, you definitely a Wildcat fan, especially being in Lexington. Most of the time, if you outside of Louisville, you're a UK fan. Everyone in Louisville is University of Louisville fan. I wanted to go there at the time when I was coming out of school. They had Billy Gillespie. I don't know if you know too much about him.
Yeah.
He wasn't somebody that I wanted to play for at all. So it wasn't the best situation. And obviously, looking back on it, it was a great choice. I think he ended up getting fired 2 years later, or a year later. So I didn't want to go there, but UK was definitely one of my top choices. I actually did get offered to go there, but it wasn't a move. It was somebody wanted me. It's something they just had to do. Me being a hometown kid, is how you gonna let him go? He's 5 miles from the campus. So it was one of those things. Got recruited by a few other SEC schools. This Butler was just the right fit for me. I like the style of play. Coach Stevens. Met a lot of other players with the Kentucky Indiana All-Star game. I just felt very comfortable going there and building friendships with those guys.
I got to ask you, how was Brad Stevens' pitch to you when it comes to, hey, Steven, hey, Shelvin, come to Butler and play for us?
It's just very simple. This come here, like, we can't promise you anything. It's a great academic school, but if you want to play and compete at a high level, then we do some great things. That's an opportunity for you, especially coming as a freshman, being able to come in and play right away is very different from a lot of other situations. And the way we play is pick and roll a lot of times. So I got to watch AJ Graves and Mike Green before me, so I actually got to see their style of play. I was like, all right, that's something that fits me.
But Brad Stevens back then, God, how old was he? 19, 20 years old? Has the guy even started shaving yet? What was there a little bit of trepidation? Because if you're being recruited by SEC schools, and of course, there's always the legendary coaches out there, the Patinos, the Califaris, but especially in a bigger conference, and you see this young guy come in. Was there any trepidation with such a young coach, or was that actually like a bonus?
Nah, I think most of the time, like when kids and people pick those big schools, I don't think it really has to do with the coaches. I think it has to do more like the facilities and the perks and stuff that comes with it. No, I wasn't one of those guys that just needed a court and a place to play. I also like the small campus at Butler, having 4,000 students. Like, none of my classes were over 15 people. Now I needed that one-on-one attention in the classroom. I just felt very comfortable with it. But when Coach Stevens, I really didn't look at age at all, at all. Even though I think he's for like 35 or 36 when he started being the head coach. It really didn't bother me at all.
So Butler perennially always had a great basketball program, and obviously you were part of two teams to make it to the national championship. When did you know that you were a part of something special and your team could be truly elite?
Say after my freshman year, me and Gordon went to the U19 team, U19 tryouts, the USA tryouts. And while we was there, we was playing all the Evan Turner. Okay. Evan Turner won Player of the Year. Him, it's a few other guys I can't think of. But all those guys projected to go top 5 and all this stuff, in which they were. But we was able to compete with them and play with them every single day, even beat them sometimes in practice. So it kind of gave us confidence going back the next year to we actually got a chance, an opportunity to do something special.
When you're looking at what's the politics like? You were blessed to be drafted, but certainly having those two deep runs and being really nationally exposed, the mid-major has become that's almost like a bad thing to say, because you guys aren't mid-majors. Butler, Gonzaga is number one, has been all season and many times. So there's the floor has really risen. So the mid-major could easily be, you guys could have easily done fairly well in one of the power conferences. There really isn't that big of a gap. So when you're as an individual player though, and you're looking at say an Evan Turner or other guys that might have been in your draft class that maybe got drafted ahead of you, is there a lot of politics that kind of go into that, just because of where they're from, or maybe more hype?
I say a little bit, politics with anything. I also can understand, as a GM or whatever, most times I'd rather have someone do it over consistently good people instead of every once in a while playing against someone. I think that's why it's so big for us and me and Gordon. Us go deep in the NCAA tournament. It gives us a chance to play. Instead of we just beat them with the Horizon League, then might have the Jimmy V Classic or a Christmas tournament and do good. But then for 3 months, you're not playing really high level competition to get a judgment on you. So I think the tournament plays a key role in that.
That makes sense. In your college career, can you speak to some of the tougher folks you played against? You're like, man, that guy has it. He's tough to guard.
I say Norris Cole. We played him a lot.
Norris Cole, he played for Miami Heat for a while, right?
Yeah. And he was at he was in the Horizon League with us. He was at Cleveland State. We played him a lot. Very, very tough. That's the one guy I can say. My freshman year, Marcus Thornton in the NCAA tournament. That guy killed us. LSU, it was bad. Yeah, other than that, I can't give you too many people.
But there was probably like, I always say like there's that legendary, that like playground legend that when you were coming up, like in high school, like for me, I played against this guy named Chris Tan, and he dropped 60 in the championship game. Not against us because we were terrible, but the guy that he beat out was Sean Alexander, who Lennox knows and played at Appalachian State and was like Mr. Basketball. Of course, this guy never made it. You know, he got in some trouble. You know, so is that one of those? Do you have one of those guys, or was the best competition you really remember facing, like in the collegiate or certainly the professional level?
Professional level is different. This collegiate, there was that. I do have a guy who was really good who didn't make it. Actually, this showed up the other day. Bud Mackey. He's supposed to go to IU. He's from. He was like top 10 in the country from like Scott County. He was one of those guys that was pretty tough to guard. Now, unfortunately, this didn't work out for him. But the NBA level, Damian Lillard gave me 60 one time. That was bad.
Wow.
How did you guard a guy like that? How do you stay in front of him?
Honestly, it's not you. Unfortunately, it's the big a lot of times.
It's the big. It's the screen that the big is setting and they're not helping correctly.
Yeah, the most bigs will be all this. With him, you got to be up because you just set the screen and shoot. A lot of bigs be all the way back, and it's just like playing 2-on-1. So like after the game, you call your friends like, "Yeah, I see Damian Lillard gave you 60." I'm like, "Nah, man, like it wasn't like it."
So is he talking junk to you while he's doing this, or is he silent with it?
No. He's not talking to you, man. He's silent. But like a lot of people like kind of understand that or whatever. Same thing with like Steph Curry and all that. Usually it's like they get a screen, like the guarding is a screen, so it's 2-on-1, and if the other person don't help, it's gonna look bad for you when they look at the box score and like point guard versus point guard.
Yeah. I love that commercial with Jalen Rose and Kobe Bryant, where I don't know if you've seen it, but Jalen Rose walks into the restaurant. He's like, "Oh man, it's Kobe," and Kobe orders a martini with 81 olives.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I had that 60. Had the 60. I also played. So I was fortunate to play in Kobe's last game in NBA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You were there.
So I got 0 of that. You can go look that up. That's probably one of the greatest. That was a fun game to be a part of.
How was the energy in the stadium that night?
It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like it. Like you thought the president was inside, outside everyone, like the army's outside, machine guns. It didn't feel like a basketball game. Like anytime you walk up to a basketball game, like you pull in the arena, all that, it's like dog search, all kind of stuff. And it was like couldn't even focus on playing like in warm-ups, like on basketball. You just looking in the crowd, just seeing different people and see what's going on. And those are once in a lifetime experience.
So in the NBA TopShot world, instead of, like I said, being pictures like for cardboard cards, it's moments. Some of the more popular moments, like LeBron has the Kobe tribute dunk. We actually are holders of that card, and to us, it's like that's going to be remembered for a long time. There's also like the LeBron where he shoots a 3 and turns around. When you must have like some basketball cards of you, right?
Yeah, I actually got some actual cards, like upper deck cards and stuff. Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, I mean, and I want to know what kind of moments you have in your career that you kind of think back to, but like to imagine like it's commemorative, like in a collectible way where you actually get to see the play. And even though you can watch it, you know, you can watch the highlights on YouTube, but to know like people are clamoring over this video, this moment, like what are some of what would be your moments if you had an NBA TopShot debut?
I'll probably say like my third year when I went to was in the playoffs and played the Pacers. I think I hit like 5 threes in like the second quarter. Like somewhere that kind of moment.
Yeah.
That's dope. So
Yeah.
changing gears a little bit, I believe you left after your junior year, correct?
Yep.
What went into that decision? And what in terms of like where you'd be drafted? Did you have an idea that you'd be second round? Were people giving you first round promises? How did all that work out?
I didn't get any promises. I felt like I did everything I could do in college. It wasn't like anything else. Like the only thing I could do is actually win the championship. And I feel like that's just a lot to put yourself through again. Another year. You know, I'm a big believer. The more you stay in college, the more they find out things that they don't like. That is gonna, instead of like, it's like when you meet a girl or whatever, you know, she's beautiful at the beginning, then 2 weeks later you like, man, I don't like your toenails. Like there's something gonna be wrong. Right?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't stand her anymore.
Exactly. So that's kind of how I felt with that. But I did everything. Like I won the conference title, you know, went to the Final Four, went to the championship game twice. I felt like it wasn't anything else I could do. And I felt like I had a great opportunity to achieve my dream.
Very nice. Can you walk us through your stint with the NBDL as well as a 10-day contract and then finally finding a home with the Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah. So my first year, I got some young guys now. I'm kind of mentoring the NBA. First year started off 0-18 with the Wizards.
Fun.
Yeah. Tough. And it was a lockout year when it was like 3 games in a week, like the back to back to back. They give a play like that. So we was getting our head busted in every day. So Flip Saunders was our coach. He got fired. Another guy came in. And then that summer, John got hurt. John Wall.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, being a young guy, I didn't feel like I'll be able to contribute and help the team out at that point stage of my career. So that's when I got cut. I went to the G League. Just grinded that out. I actually got called back to the Wizards for like 10 days. Then went back to the G League. And now I found the home in Atlanta. I think Devin Harris ended up hurting his foot, and they needed someone to play. And, I got in a few games. I was able to make the best of my opportunity.
How hard is that, though? I mean, you prepare, but like to get a 10-day contract, like you might not even get in the game. Like, so how important is like practice, or where is it where you can really kind of make your state that you should be on for longer?
Yeah, what you just said, like, it's very hard to do. Sometimes you don't even practice, because of the schedule or whatever. But just being professional, just meeting people, talking to them, just let them know that you actually care about having this opportunity. I think a lot of times if you do that, take advantage of it, showing up early, making sure you're never late, staying after, all of those things add up, and they can see that. They understand the situation. They understand if you ain't played in 2 weeks and they throw you in, like, it's probably not gonna be your best performance, but let me see you try and care about it.
Mm-hmm. Do you is the G League a lot different than when you were like in was it called the G League? It was the NBDL when you were in it, right?
Yeah, it was the D League.
So is that much different now? Have they really done a good job of like improving the G League? It seems like now it's like even a launch pad, there's at least 2 or 3 high school players that just skip college just to go straight to the G League. And I don't think, especially in the early days of the NBDL, nobody would have done that. Do you see like an improvement? Is it a tougher league than the NBDL was at one point, or?
Yeah, I say it's a big improvement. It's a big improvement just having more people aware about it. Actually, before y'all called, I was watching a G League game on ESPNU. Like those kind of things. Like back when we was playing, it wasn't like out of sight, out of mind. But I think they're doing a great job of monetizing it, having it on the NBA official Instagram and Twitter, and other guys talking about it. So I think that's definitely helping out promoting the game. And then also, I think the biggest thing I think they did was when they changed it from the D League to G League, it just sounds better.
Yeah.
The D League, just like you kind of associate it with grades. It's like,
yeah,
it's like terrible. You know what I mean? So I think that was the biggest thing they could have did to help out the league. But overall, I think it's doing great. He was talking about the Jalen Green kid. No, I watched them yesterday. So they're making the best of the opportunity.
I understand that. It seems like as somebody who's drafted in the second round and you have other guys drafted in the first round, it seems like you're kind of down by 15 before you even start. How do you keep yourself ready? How do you keep motivated? How do what goes into that process?
Just being true to who you are. That's the other thing about like a lot of people when they do get 10 days is like you got a 10 days because they expect you to do what you do. You didn't get the 10-day. Like for me to go out there and try to get 40 points, that's just something I just don't do. So don't start trying to do things you normally don't do. I think you understand that and be great at it. I think you'll be pretty good.
As a fan, we don't really get a great idea of how big those guys actually are. Like in person, name some guys that are just huge that we wouldn't even think about from watching it on TV.
I'm pretty sure y'all know LeBron is huge. Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's huge. I'm trying to think.
Dwight's been huge since high school. I covered him in high school when he was in Gwinnett or Southwest, and he's ridiculous.
Embiid is huge too.
Embiid is huge.
He's wide. Yeah. Wow. What you had mentioned about mentoring. I mean, you're not, you're not like Vince Carter. You still got plenty in the tank, man. What?
Yeah.
But what when you're talking to like some of these young guys, like who are they, and what's like some of like if you can give us just a couple examples of like the best tools that you have, like your best story that you give to like a young guy from your personal experience.
So I have one guy I've been mentoring for like the past 4 years or whatever. It's Teo Mello though. He's got drafted this year to the OKC.
Mm-hmm.
He actually starts every once in a kid from France, young guy or whatever. He was projected to go like top 20 his whole career, like in the draft boards, mock drafts and all that. And then this summer, unfortunately, it just didn't work out for that. He went second round. He went 34 picks, same pick as I would. But he had an opportunity to go ahead, but they was going to draft him and keep him overseas, and he didn't want to do that. But this whole thing was, I was trying to get in his head, is like, it's not first round or second round. It's about just getting to the right situation. Because if the first round was 34 picks instead of 30 picks, you wouldn't be mad. But just because it's not the first round, like you're upset about the situation. Like those little key factors, I think, when you're able to break it down like that and have them understand that is like really key and helpful. Also, it's like you want an opportunity where you can play right away. There's a lot of dudes who got drafted in front of me first round that didn't. They first round, they going back and backing up Steph Curry. Like you're never gonna get in the game. Right. Or you'd rather go somewhere else and play. You got to kind of figure those situations out. And I think it's easier for people to get that coming from me as me being a former player and been through it, instead of getting it from like an agent or someone else.
That makes sense. That's really interesting. So you mentioned I'm drawing a blank here. Jason, step up. I'm drawing a blank on my question.
Well, I have to ask. You won a championship last year. Did you win a title overseas?
Yeah, we won a cup thing.
Okay. Israel, yeah. So the EuroLeague's a little foreign to us. So what does the cup mean? Is that like a
cup is basically like your country.
Okay. And then you go on and play like in the Euro, and that's the bigger title?
Yeah. EuroLeague is like the second best league in the world. That's where like all the countries' top teams play at with the biggest budget. But then you also have like Euro Cup and Champions League. But like the Greek League has its own league, Turkey, like all those. And actually right now is the time where everyone's playing for the cups.
Oh.
Yeah. Like it's like a conference. It's like a conference championship right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically the way you can kind of look at it.
So I was looking at it, and I think, did Amari Stoudemire play for your team?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So did you play with Amari, or did you guys?
No, it was a few years beforehand.
See, now that's your move, because he's like not only playing, but then he owns part of a team, and then he's like coaching. So you got to diversify. I mean, you already got the mentoring, so you might as well, right?
No, definitely. But he was he's training to be a rabbi.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's why he picked the team or whatever. So he knows Hebrew and all of that.
How does playing overseas compare to playing in the U.S.? Is there a language barrier? How's the travel? What's that life like right now?
Right now, it's very difficult. You got to fill out a whole bunch of like COVID forms everywhere you go. Actually, not a lot of flights to certain places. Fortunately, like our team's been doing a great job. If it's not a flight, they'll just get a charter flight for us. So that's been very helpful. One time we're supposed to play in Tel Aviv. We're supposed to play on the 23rd. And like we had to go like on the 19th, and then the next flight leaving out was like on the 27th. So they have a lot of those kind of things going on.
For one game.
Yeah, for one game. Basketball wise, it's very different than anything else because it's the spacing and the pace and all that. It's very different trying to get used to it. It's so hard after being 20 years playing one way and trying to play this way. It's completely different.
I mean, like I said, you got plenty in the tank, but are you looking forward to like are you starting to look like, is there coaching? You mentor, the mentoring, like what else is, the modern athlete is so different today than even in the 90s. As far as like, yeah, you're playing hoop, but like most players have something else going on. What else is in the Mac universe?
I'm working on a few other things. I actually have a few AAU teams like mentoring again. Got some young kids that's pretty good. Got one kid going to Ohio State for basketball. Another kid that's committed to Virginia Tech for football today. So always been active and involved with that. But just taking it one day at a time. Enjoying basketball while I can. If something pops up and intrigues me, I would love to do it. Coaching, it's always on the back burner. I think I always have opportunity with that, with the connections I have and the coaches that I play for, that they kind of all respect my knowledge of the game. So I think I always have that opportunity. But just enjoying this ride right now and spending time with the family. That's all I've been kind of focusing on right now. And then working on my own podcast.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Other than that, just relax.
Who you gonna have on your? Have you already started?
I did one last summer. We had some few guests, but trying to clean it up a little bit, make it a little better.
All right. Well,
yeah,
we're learning as we go as well. So
as we kind of discussed before the call started, we are the basis of this podcast is NBA TopShot. And as I told you before, it's we're collecting moments or specific plays on a digital basis. Can you see that being something that NBA guys would be interested in and getting behind? And keep in mind, which is interesting, the product is actually officially licensed by the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it with this generation, especially some special way you could do it. They can put the Top Shot moment on their Instagram and stuff like that. I think I can definitely see it kind of working out. It reminds me a lot about I don't know if y'all play video games, 2K.
Of course.
Where you can get your cards and all of that. That's what it kind of reminds me. Yeah.
So it's interesting you say that, because that was kind of the concern, I think, from the beginning of Linux. Step in if I'm wrong, but from my understanding is you would buy those cards and it would help you for that year, but the next year they're worthless. And this, or they lose their value. And this, it's in essence, again, the argument's always like, well, why am I going to pay for something I can watch on YouTube? It's like, well, why are you going to pay for a picture of a guy on a piece of cardboard? But, the Michael Jordan rookie just sold for $1 million, and so it's definitely interesting. I kind of feel there's been a couple players that have expressed like interest in like, would you, like, if you had a moment, like, would you buy your own moment? Like,
I don't think I would.
No.
Nah, I still don't fully kind of understand it.
Right.
So I would say no at this moment. But anything for myself, I probably wouldn't buy it.
So when we get off, I'm going to send you your first NBA Top Shot moment, so you have an idea of what we're talking about.
Okay, perfect.
And just to give you an idea, so like this is how crazy it's been. So Lennox calls me up like a month ago and tells me about it. I buy like this random pack, and I'm like, what is all this? We end up doing this specialty pack, and it was like $200. We pulled a LeBron. 3 weeks later, we sold it for $8,000, and then literally like a week later, it was going for almost $30,000. And so,
so you literally sold this for $8,000?
Yeah,
literally.
That's crazy.
And there's some that have gone for $100,000, and like some pretty big investors. Mark Cuban's starting to talk about it. So, it's definitely reaching, and it's what's so amazing is, like Lennox and I are obviously like 90s kids. And so like I remember collecting old, traditional basketball cards when like Shaq was a rookie and stuff. So there's a lot of nostalgic to it where it's kind of like I feel like a kid again. But I won't able to buy cards that were worth $8,000 like right out the gate. And there's definitely a financial windfall, especially with like crypto and Bitcoin blowing up the way it is.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm still trying to. I got to wait till you send to me, because I can see a thing that's like, if I could buy a moment, it's like I put on some goggles or whatever, and then I can virtual see like the moment again. It's like a card. I think that would be pretty cool.
Like an Oculus Rift and relive the game, like be almost like courtside to see it.
That's super interesting.
Be like courtside. Be like, so when LeBron's in there, you in the third row, you can relive the moment.
Wow, that's
super interesting.
Yeah.
That is wow. Yeah. That's cool. My story was when I found it, I read an article where they said this dude, bought this.
I'm gonna need my cut whenever y'all talk to y'all's people.
No, that is super interesting. My story is, so I read an article where it says this guy, he bought one of these digital moments for $30,000, right? So I go in and I buy a pack. I bought one pack, boom. I buy it, and I pull out a LeBron James card where he's catching an alley-oop, right? So when I bought it, the card was worth $50. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. $50 off 12, that's great. A week later, the card was worth $350. A week later, the card was worth $1,000. A week later, the card was worth $2,000. Now it's the price has soon come down from that, but the explosive growth is amazing. The amount of people going in is amazing. They've actually had to stop their marketing because it was growing too fast. So, I think it's definitely something that might catch your attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out when you send it to me. But I think a lot of people will pay for those kind of moments.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you could relive, say like if you could buy a card for like the Butler, like a Butler pack card, and you could be at the arena when Gordon shot the shot from half court and it missed. Like just put the thing on and you can see it again, like live. I think that would be pretty cool.
Did you think Gordon was going to make that shot?
I honestly wasn't even thinking. It's just like I would say probably not, but no, it was close. It was definitely close.
That was amazing.
Yeah, with the sports science and stuff too, they had like 2 centimeters if it went in.
Oh, that's the worst when they bring them nerds in there to really rub it in, like how close it was. But like no one I mean, I remember that game I grew up a Duke fan, and like the fact that Zubac intentionally missed the shot, like, like it could have, like it was kind of good because it threw it off, and the spontaneity of it. But at the same time, like, that's the crazy thing. And you guys hit that shot, and nobody talks about Duke, Kentucky ever again. Like that's the game,
Oh yeah.
So
I'm waiting on the 30 for 30 to come out soon.
It should. It definitely should.
Well, Shelvin, I mean, I appreciate the time. I know it's late for you. Hopefully, we've given you some insight onto NBA TopShot, but more importantly, you gave us insight on just kind of looking behind the curtain of, these NBA players that we look up to, and just the ultimate respect, because whether you're the number 1 pick, the 34th pick, or even guy like Fred VanVleet that, drops a 50 piece after going undrafted. Like the journey is so amazing. And the journey on Top Shot for us has been pretty cool, as short-lived as it is. Lennox?
No, that's all. I think Jason summarized it perfectly. Shelvin, definitely appreciate your time, man. And if there's anything we can do to help along the way, please let us know.
Yep. No, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to you send me the card and stuff. I'm gonna check it out.
Absolutely. That's it for me. I'm Jason, Lennox. Big thanks to Shelvin Mack. We'll see you next time.